But yeah, look, I think that Masai just always likes to go out of the box. You always heard about, oh, the Mavericks are going to hire one of these assistants, and that's what it seems like it's more likely, this, that, and the other. But look, this is what he's done his entire career in Denver, in Toronto, and now with the Mavericks. He goes out and gets one of the best coaches in college basketball to lead this team. And this is the squad, man, that I think could be very, very just excited to work with Dusty May. And it could be an overhaul of this Mavericks roster, to be honest. And that's something I think we should get to as well, Lopez. There should be a listicle there of trade candidates for the Mavericks. I think any veteran on this team outside of Kyrie Irving is available for a trade at this point in time. The Mavericks have these four guys right here who I absolutely believe could be moved on from, whether it's Klay Thompson, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, Caleb Martin. Like, the Mavs are open for business this offseason with the hiring of Dusty May. When you hire a guy like May, it just doesn't feel like it's a veteran-led roster, right? It feels like it's a Cooper Flagg. It's going to be a young guy-led roster. So there's a lot that is just up in the air when it comes to Dusty and the Mavericks. And I also think that's something that we need to talk about here as part of the, one of the biggest stories here of the draft is, what do the Mavericks do in the draft now? They currently have pick number 9, right, which they've been reportedly open to trading. And the team that is most interested in acquiring, that number 9 pick is the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Mavericks and the Thunder have discussed a trade for the 9th pick in exchange for the 12th and the 17th overall pick. And if that does end up being the case, I absolutely believe that Mo Johnson would be in play there with the 12th overall. I really do. I think that he would be the guy the Mavericks would be targeting there at number 12. Even though they have maybe a bigger need at guard than they do at big, do you just appease your new head coach and try to go get a guy that he knows and trusts and has worked with already? I certainly think that's going to be a possibility for the Mavericks going forward. Again, if you're just joining us here, the Mavericks have hired Dusty May as the next head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. I absolutely can't believe that they made this hire one day before the draft. I thought that they would swing big. I didn't think it would be right now. When the Mavs make a move, we have you covered right here on the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you join us live tomorrow as well for the draft. We are going to have you guys covered with everything the Mavericks do. But as far as today's show go, if you want to get on the show, make sure you use hashtag Mavs or Super Chat. If you have a Super Chat, we'll throw your question up right here on screen, and we can talk about anything surrounding the Mavs, from the hiring of Dusty May to what they're going to do in the draft to free agency. Any questions you guys have, we will drop it on the screen and just talk about it here on the channel. It's a big day for the Dallas Mavericks as they hire Dusty May as their next head coach. We'll bring in producer Lopez here in just a second. I'm seeing some people in the chat saying, hello. I'm seeing some people in the chat saying we need to trade those veterans. Trade Klay, Gafford, PJ, and Martin for KD. Cheetah, that's not happening. They're not going to trade for KD. That's certainly not going to be the case. Kevin Durant could be traded by the Rockets this offseason, but it's not going to happen with the 4 veterans. That's simply not going to be the case there. Like, the Mavs, if they're trading those vets, it's going to be for draft capital, for younger, cost-controllable players. It's going to be that kind of thing. So I certainly do believe that the Dallas Mavericks will be open for business with those 4 veterans, but what they're going to do, I really don't know. It'll all kick off, I think, tomorrow night with the Mavericks starting to really make trades and all that kind of stuff. So get your questions in there. Send in a super chat, and we'll discuss the Mavericks here for the next 30 minutes to an hour or so. Yeah, gotcha. We'll do it. Sounds good. Would y'all be mad if the Mavs took Yaxel, says Jeremiah Smith? No, I would be not as well. I would be not mad whatsoever if the Mavs took Yaxel into board. Trae Young to the Mavs? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why on earth would we want Trae Young? I'm going to hard pass on that. We're going to tell you guys about Prize Picks one more time, and then we'll get in to the rest of the show. Go get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks is available in all 50 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and in Georgia. They put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Super easy to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you can cash in. We do have a lineup for the World Cup action today. We are going to take the more on Leo Messi goals, who is playing at Dallas Stadium today, just about 30 minutes away, aka AT&T Stadium. I'm taking the more on him to score a goal. Going to take the less on Kylian Mbappe passes and the more on Erling Haaland shots. And that one's a flash discount, by the way. So make sure you guys go take advantage of those flash discounts, which PrizePicks is offering pretty much every day during the World Cup. So make sure you do that. That's a 10-player entry to win 60. Go use code HMA when you download the PrizePicks app to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play that first $5 lineup. One more time, code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That link in the live chat, comments, and description of today's show. We appreciate PrizePicks for always sponsoring Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. We got our first super chat of the day coming in from my guy Schefter, which we'll get to here in just a moment. As Charania was the first one to break. I was literally filming another video with our Miami Heat host talking about the latest on the Giannis Antetokounmpo saga, which is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. And then I literally had to stop mid-video and be like, oh, the Mavericks just hired their head coach. So now we're here live on the channel talking about that. Chef Euro, I'll answer that question here in just a moment. And I think it's a question that we have to talk about because I just think at the end of the day, it's probably just not going to happen. I know when you talk about the Michigan guys like Lendeborg, like Mo Johnson, like Ade Mara, the big knock on Lendeborg is his age, where he's going to be 24 when the season starts. Look, that is of no consequence to me. If you can play, you can play. I don't care how old you are. And I know that there's the common, consensus, not consensus, but thinking when it comes to the draft. Like if you're a young guy, you have, a longer shelf life, this and that. But if you can play, you can play. I think that's the end of the story. And so if I was the Mavericks, I would not have any hesitation whatsoever drafting Yaxel Lendeborg to be a Mav. First super chat coming in from my guy, Chef Euro. Is Dusty May the right coach to let Lively shoot threes? Derek Lively is not going to shoot threes. I know he made the one in the finals against the Celtics. Look, he's kind of worked on it in the off seasons and in before games and whatnot. Derek Lively is not going to shoot threes. How about we worry about Derek Lively getting on the court and playing basketball before he starts shooting threes? I think that's the biggest thing for D-Live. Can he play 10 consecutive games without getting injured? That is what we need to look for when it comes to Derek Lively. I can't even be concerned about him shooting threes at this point. At this point, I'm not sure the Mavericks are even going to pick up Lively's fifth-year option because of how bad he's been. So, or not how bad, but how injured he's been. I really don't know if they're going to or not. So, I'm not worried about Lively shooting threes right now. I really want him to just play basketball, plain and simple. Look, we'll see what happens with Dusty May here with the Mavericks. I don't know if he's going to do an introductory press conference tomorrow because the Mavs already have, their draft stuff all set up and whatnot. So I don't know when he's going to be officially announced as the next Mavericks head coach, but the Mavs are going to be very busy over the next 24, 48 hours. They have 3 current draft picks at 9, 30, and at 48. So we will see how the Dallas Mavericks want to operate. And then next week, it's NBA free agency as well. So things are coming thick and fast for the Dallas Mavericks. We got 78 people in the building. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up icon for me. Free and easy way to help out the channel as well. My guy Manji says, yes, PJ's got to go for picks. What? PJ's got to go for picks. I would trade PJ Washington as well with that $22 million salary, the extension that he signed this last offseason. He's going to kick in. That extension kicks in this year, which, boy, oh boy, was that a pretty bad extension. Can we go with the player top and then maybe like the live sub counter or something? That'd be cool. Look, yeah, that's what I mean with Lively. Like, he just got to get on the court, first of all. You just got to get on the court. NW says, I'm liking the idea of a Merez Okori draft in a trade down. I'm not taking Ibuka Okori at 17. I would take him at the back end of the first round. But at 17, I wouldn't take him there. I like Okori, but he's a long-term project. He's not ready to play in the NBA right now. If you were to draft Ibuka Okori, like, he would play a lot for the Texas Legends this past year. That's for sure. That's for sure. I like Merez because he makes Gaff more expendable, insurance for Lively's health, and probably takes some of PJ's role. That's the thing, yes, with Mo Johnson as we bring in producer Lopez. I really do believe that Johnson can be an extremely versatile piece. He can play a lot of the 4. He can play a lot of the 5. He can multiple roles. He was a decent shooter last year at Michigan as well. So I certainly think that it would be a good outcome for the Mavericks if Mo Johnson was to be the guy that they ended up drafting. Now, would I take Mo at 9? No, probably not. But I would absolutely take him at 12 if the Mavs end up in that trade down as well. We're getting a lot of questions asking if this is a good hire down in the comment section. Make sure, use hashtag Mavs to get in the comments and go grade the hire for me. A, B, C, D, or F down in the comment section. We have our live poll out there as well right now that says 73% of you are saying A. We've got 21 saying B. We've got 3% saying D, and the D or F is at 2%. Someone just voted that just because they felt they did or whatever. But,
they want to be different.
Yeah, they want to be different there. You can throw up that way in there as well that we have of the great the hire there.
Okay.
Jeremiah Smith says Nate Ament is a high risk reward. Nate Ament scares the ever living crap out of me. And I said this over on our VOD where I mentioned that Ament's floor is the 10th overall pick with the Milwaukee Bucks. If the Mavericks took Nate Ament at 9, I would be in such a mental pretzel. I just don't believe in the kid as a prospect. Could he boom? Yeah. What is it more likely that he busts? I certainly think so. It would just scare me to death to take Nate Ament, man. It really, really would. Look, he's very skilled. He's big. He's athletic. Like, could it work out? It could. Man, I would just stay so far away from Nate Ament if I was coaching the Dallas Mavericks or if I was the GM of the Dallas Mavericks. I certainly wouldn't do it.
I know you already kind of talked about this, but I think the Mavs, they only have 3 people that they're going to pick in the first round at this point.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Michigan guy. It has to be.
I kind of think so, yeah. If you want to go to that list, Gold, there are the 3 Michigan guys that are going to be drafted in the top 20 of this draft, and it's Ade Mara, the center, Yaxel Lendeborg, and Mo Johnson. Like, these guys are all consensus top 20 picks, pretty much all consensus lottery picks at this point. And if the Mavs ended up with one of these 3, like, I wouldn't be mad whatsoever because I think they're all really good players and would make the Mavericks a better team. I would be all right with taking Mara at 9 if you stuck and picked there because I don't have faith that Derek Lively is going to stay healthy. And I don't know what the future holds for Daniel Gafford either. So I'd be certainly okay with taking Ade Mara there at 9. Yaxel Lendeborg might be the most NBA-ready player of the 3. He is the oldest prospect as well, as he'll be 24 by the time the season starts. But, man, I think Yaxel would be a perfect fit in the front court next to Cooper Flagg and either Lively or Gafford. And then Mo Johnson can kind of do a little bit of both, where he can play the 4. He can play the 5. He can shoot it. He can defend. I think that if you were to take any of these 3 from Michigan that Dusty May coached last year en route to the national title, I'd be pretty happy with that as well. Jeremiah Smith says Nets will take Ament at 6. Yeah, I could see that. I could see the Nets taking Ament at 6 for sure.
Dude, that'd be great though for the Mavs.
Oh, that'd be
Don't even give him
oh
the
my
chance.
God, that would be a miracle for
Take
the
him
Dallas
off the
Mavericks.
board before we even get a shot at him.
Now, I do wonder if this pick is traded by tomorrow morning or if we get to the draft and the Mavericks have that number 9 pick. I do wonder if that's going to happen. I feel relatively confident that the Mavericks are going to make a trade by tomorrow's draft. I really do. I just don't know in what form it's going to be. Is it going to be pick 9 for 12 and 17? Will pick number 30 be involved? Will they make multiple trades tomorrow? Masai Ujiri will make a move tomorrow. For tomorrow. Whether it's tonight, whether it's in the morning, whatever it is. The Mavs are going to make a move in this draft. Who do you guys think the Mavs should take, though? Name your guy. Who should the Mavericks take in the NBA draft? Let me know down there in the comment section. Dusty May, the next head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. Natik says, I give him a C grade until he shows that he can lead this team to a championship. Wow, that's a pretty high bar.
I'm about to say, I feel like you can say that would be the...
Not many...
He would give a C to every hire, then it sounds like.
Not many coaches have led their teams to NBA championships. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 active coaches in the NBA with championships?
Kerr, Spoelstra,
5. Spoelstra,
Dagnall,
Kerr, Dagnall, Mike
obviously,
Brown.
yeah. Mike Brown, and then Missoula.
And Missoula, yes. Is Budenholzer an active coach at the moment?
I don't believe so.
I can't remember if he is. I don't think he is either.
I don't think he is.
No, he is not. So yes, there are 5 active coaches in the NBA with championships. So that's an extremely high bar. I think Dusty May could absolutely end up being a top 5 coach in the NBA at some point in time, but I think a C is harsh. I think a C is harsh.
Also, don't buy in too much on year 1. He is adjusting. If it's not a great year, but everything off the court is good, seems like the locker room is chilling, that's a good first year.
Now,
they are in the rebuild, right?
They are. Our expectations are going to be high for sure. I'm seeing Yaxel Lindenborg from Chef Euro. Jeremiah Smith says, love Keaton Wagler, want him on the Mavs. Yeah, I'd be okay with it. I would be okay with it. It wouldn't be my favorite pick in the world, but I could absolutely get behind a Keaton Wagler pick at 9. If they trade down and get him, yeah, that'd be great if he ends up slipping. But I'm indifferent on him. Cam Carr as well. Tommy Houck, as a Gator fan, I'm a big fan of Tommy Houck. I think that'd be awesome.
Bring him on in then.
That'd be sick. LeBaron Philon from Cheetah Trent. I like LeBaron Philon a lot. He should absolutely be under consideration for the Mavericks there at 9. Look, there's going to be plenty of different scenarios that end up playing out for this team, and it'll just depend on where they're picking and what Masai identifies as either the best player or the biggest need on this team. I'm just scrolling Twitter to make sure I haven't really missed anything. I don't think I have.
Yeah. What's crazy is this might not even be the biggest NBA news of the day.
Yeah,
Giannis is getting traded today.
We are fully on Giannis Antetokounmpo trade watch as well, as that does feel like it's going to come to a head prior to the draft happening, whether it's tonight, whether it's in the morning. That move is going to be made. It's between the Celtics and the Miami Heat for the services of Giannis. And yeah, like when we saw breaking news, I was like, oh my God, did Giannis just get traded? It did not. It was Dusty May being hired as the Mavericks' next head coach. And this doesn't come without risk. Now, if we take a look at Dusty's resume here, he has done quite a lot in his short college basketball career. He's only been a head coach for less than 10 seasons. And boy, but those 10 seasons have been absolutely electric. Now, he started out as an assistant. Well, he got his first Power 4 job as an assistant with the Florida Gators over there with Mike White in 2018 to 2024, in 2015 to 2018, he was on the Gator staff. And then that got him the Florida Atlantic job. So he moved down there, and what did he do at FAU? He got Florida freaking Atlantic in Boca Raton, Florida, to the Final Four in 2023 as a 9 seed. That team had some good players on it that ended up playing Power 4 the next year. But yeah, I mean, full disclosure, by the way, and this is my biggest claim to fame when it comes to the NCAA and college basketball bracket. I picked FAU that year to go to the Final Four. Not a big deal. But they ended up doing that. They lost. I can't remember who they lost to.
San Diego State.
That's right.
Butler.
Yep, they lost to Lamont Butler and San Diego State there in the Final Four. And then he goes to Michigan after they fired Juwan Howard. And then what happens? Wins the national championship in 2026. So Dusty May definitely has the resume. He definitely has the pedigree. I think he'll have the respect of the players. Now, will it be harder for Dusty May to connect with someone like Kyrie Irving, who has a been there, done that guy in the league, who is going to be in the Hall of Fame when it's said and done? I certainly think that maybe could be the case, which is why I think some of the Mavericks veterans are going to be on this trade block here as well. You're going to have guys like PJ Washington, like Daniel Gafford, like Klay Thompson, who will have interest across the league. And I think Masai Ujiri might trade one of those guys there. Got a comment coming in from No Sir 2231 says #Mavs start the reset. Yes, indeed. This is going to be a reset. I hope it's not a rebuild, but it certainly will be a reset indeed.
I think if the Mavs do enough in this draft, there's a path to them being a play-in contender / 6 seed, make a 6 seed push next year. Is that? You think how high do you think Mavs can be next year?
Like realistically. I think they're not going to win the NBA title, of course, but I mean, look, they could. Is it out of the question that they're a top 5 seed?
I don't think it's crazy. I don't like.
I don't know if that's realistic to predict.
Who do you think they jump? Because
exactly,
Thunder, Spurs aren't going anywhere.
It all depends on what happens here in the draft and free agency. Like if they can shape this roster up, I'll say this. The one thing that the Mavericks have literally never been good at, doesn't matter who's the roster, doesn't matter who the coach is, they suck at starting seasons well. They have to start the season well in order to get one of those top 5 seeds. Manji Media says trading with Charlotte, maybe Gaff to get our pick back and an asset like Ryan Kalkbrenner. Sign me up. Get Ryan Kalkbrenner and our pick back from Charlotte. I don't think that would happen for Gafford, though. I really don't. Danger Sepp says get rid of Kyrie while he has value. I'll disagree there. I want to keep Kyrie just because I want to have good players on this roster and want to give Dusty May something to work with. And I want to see Kyrie and Cooper play together. I really do. And I think Masai Ujiri does as well. Wants to see that. So I don't think that the Mavericks are going to move Kyrie Irving. Does the hiring of Dusty May maybe slightly increase the chances of Kyrie getting moved? Maybe it does. But the Mavericks have been pretty steadfast in saying that they are going to keep Kyrie Irving on this roster. And I'm going to take Masai at his word. I think that they will. I think that they'll end up keeping him.
It's definitely the smart thing to do. The Mavs have to see what they have right now with Kyrie and Cooper Flagg.
Absolutely. They do. And I think they owe it to the fan base to kind of see that. I don't know if you've known this, but the Mavericks have gone through quite a bit in the last year and a half. So
Really?
Yes, they have. Want to see some positive vibes coming out of the American Airlines Center here. Why is nobody talking about Hannes Steinbeck? Well, I wonder, did I build this yet? I can't even remember if I did. No, I did not. I did not. But there was a report from, I want to say it was Mark Stein via his Substack, who I literally had this scripted for a show later today, which, by the way, we'll probably end up doing that show. I said, if the Mavericks were to trade back, keep an eye on Hannes Steinbeck from Washington. Mr. Lopez, trivia. Do you know where Steinbeck is from?
I heard Rolly talk about it at the beginning of the year. Is it Latvia?
No. Think Mavericks.
Is he from Dallas? What am I missing? Where is he from?
Where's the greatest player ever from the Mavericks from?
Oh, Germany. Okay.
He is not only from Germany, he is from Dirk's hometown of Würzburg, Germany. Do you know who else is from Würzburg, Germany? I'll give you a hint. It was another Mavericks player who was on your bum-ass team.
Maxi Kleber, the legend.
The Mavericks have the chance to continue a streak of having a player from Würzburg, Germany on their roster.
I'm about to say, is there any other players in the NBA that just are from Würzburg, Germany, or is it just Mavs guys?
They're literally the only three.
The only three,
Dirk,
just
Maxi,
Mavs.
and Hannes Steinbeck. I think, look, I would love to take Steinbeck if they traded back. I'm not taking him at 9, but I think he's an intriguing prospect as well. I like him, to be honest. Let me, I can pull up his stats here, but he had a good season for the Washington Huskies. And in an otherwise not very large, basketball powerhouse there, Steinbeck in...
Might be able to pull up his stats. Give me a second on the computer. I can pop it up on screen.
Yeah, you can throw that on there. In 35 minutes a game last year, so he was by far their best player. He averaged 18.5 points, almost 12 rebounds, a block and a steal per night, and shot 34% from 3. So he can do all of the things that the Mavericks need out of a big man, include defend, run the rim. Give me Hannes Steinbeck. I'd be cool with that. I certainly would. Dirk, Maxey, and Steinbeck would be sick. Steelers says, are we live? Yes, we're live.
Yes.
Steelers Nation.
We figured that one out, Steelers.
We're good.
Trust me.
I promise, Steelers TV. We're good. Yes, he did. He led college basketball in rebounds last year. I'd be cool with him. I really would. That's the crazy part is like this whole thing. Whoever just unsubbed, go F yourself, by the way. This whole thing kind of completely flipped on its head. Now, of course, the Mavericks knew that this was coming, right? So I'm sure they had a plan. But our thinking as Mavericks fans kind of flipped with this draft here going forward. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. And shout out to Germany with the big win yesterday. Maybe Steinbeck is on a high from that.
He's celebrating.
Is there any scenario where the Mavericks can get Caleb Wilson? Unless they trade Kyrie up. Kyrie at 9 for 4. No, the Mavericks will not be getting Caleb Wilson. The top 4 is set in stone. It's going to be Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonta, Cam Boozer, and then Wilson. And then after that is really when the draft starts. I think that the Wizards are going to end up taking Darren. I don't think that's completely 100% yet, but that's where I lean yet. That's where I lean. Najee should be extended alongside Kyrie and Clay. Besides re-signing Chris Middleton through 2029, Barry. No, and no. Well, rephrase. Yes, no, and no. I am absolutely extending Najee Marshall this offseason. I would do that 100%, get that deal done, want Najee to be a Mav long term. Kyrie, no need to re-sign him. He can either opt into his player option or opt out and become a free agent. And if he walks, and you sign another point guard. You don't need to extend Kyrie at this point. I wouldn't. I would let him play out this year. And if he wants to play out next year, I'd let him do that as well. But I would not be giving Kyrie a contract extension at this point. Klay Thompson, I will guarantee Klay Thompson won't be on the Mavs come the summer of 2027. I'm really not sure if he's going to be on the Mavs this summer. I don't know if he will. I think the Mavericks could absolutely trade Klay this summer, who is on an expiring $17 million deal. I could certainly see that. And re-sign Chris Middleton through 2029? What are we talking about? We're not giving Chris Middleton a 3-year deal at his age and his status in the NBA. No. I'd sign Chris Middleton to a 1-year, $5 million deal. Wouldn't sign him to anything more than that, though.
He wasn't bad when he played.
No, he was good.
Year, huh?
The one guy that I really want to keep... Oh, Jesus.
You good?
Yep, we're great. We're great. Jeez, good Lord. The one guy I really want to keep for the Mavericks is Marvin Bagley, who had a really good stint with the Mavs last year, where he averaged like 11 and 7. I think we have his stats in a player bio there, Lopez, if you can find that. But he was good with the Anthony Davis trade. Like, out of those guys, Bagley would be the one that I'd want to keep. I don't really care about keeping Middleton. AJ Johnson blows. And then I can't even remember who the other guy we got in that trade was. Tyus Jones is already gone. So, yeah. I mean, look, Bagley 11 and 7 last year, 60% from the field. Limited sample size, but 48.5% from 3 with the Mavs in like 1.5 attempts. I would absolutely like to keep Marvin Bagley as a backup 4 guy who can play center as well, who can rebound, and who can score from that position. I would be in on keeping Bagley, to be honest. I really, really would. Look, I would be all right with keeping Middleton. It can't be for any sort of money whatsoever. You know? Like, I hope the Mavs can end up keeping Marvin Bagley, but we'll see indeed. What is the next Mavs offseason move that needs to happen? Not that you want to happen, but that needs to happen. Drop it down in the comment section what you guys think the Mavericks need to do. The next move that the Mavericks need to make is sticking and picking, taking a Daymar at number 9.
Ooh, I think signing Najee Marshall has to be top priority.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen between now and the draft.
Yeah, but I should have made this
I know what you
differently.
Yeah, they do need to get a Najee deal done. He's got 1 year left on his contract, so they're not in any particular rush to do that extension. But it absolutely does need to get done. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree. Christian Church says trade 9 down to 12 and 17. Get Honest and Christian Anderson. Oh yeah, I forgot Christian Anderson's from Germany as well. He's not from Würzburg though.
Oh, then sorry, he can't play.
He's not from Würzburg.
He cannot play on this team.
Get the entire German fan base. I'm pretty sure the Mavericks already have the entire German fan base.
They only needed Dirk for that.
This is
just
Dirk.
Extras.
Dennis Schroeder is not a well-liked German because he is kind of spurned the national team multiple times and gets into fights with everybody. So I don't think.
Has Dennis Schroeder ever been on a team that
likes him?
Liked?
No.
Yeah. Like, I feel like no one's ever
He's not.
oh man, I miss Dennis Schroeder.
He's not. He has not been. So I think the Mavericks have the fan base of Germany locked down already. But yeah, if they took Steinbeck and Christian Anderson, they would certainly have that already. They really, really would. Take Burries or Phylon. The problem with Braden Burries is I'm not convinced whatsoever that he's going to be there at number 9. There's rumors about the Clippers taking him at 5. There's rumors about other teams being interested, like Brooklyn. I really don't know if Burries will even be an option for the Mavericks there at 9. I think they'd love it. I think they'd love to take him. I just don't know if he would be an option. I don't know if he would be an option.
Just a reminder, if you're just joining in, hit the sub button. We are going to be live all off season long and all season long for Mavs news, no matter how big or small. We'll also be live for the NBA draft tomorrow, and I don't know about Wednesday.
We will not be. We won't be live on Wednesday unless they make it crazy.
We will have coverage though of the NBA draft for the next 2 days. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to hit that sub button.
Yep, we will be live probably an hour before the draft tomorrow. So 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. The Mavericks have the 9th and 30th overall pick, tentatively. And then they have the 48th overall pick in the second round as well, which we will certainly have you guys covered with that one. Look, I think that there's just a variety of ways that the Mavericks can go. And with the hiring of Dusty May, I do wonder how much input he's going to have in the draft.
Ooh, we have some Michigan coaching news now.
As interim coach.
Mike Boynton Jr. as interim coach for Michigan.
I believe this was the same Mike Boynton who was the coach of Oklahoma State. But let me double check that. No, I might be wrong. Hang on. Michigan already has their temporary replacement. He was their assistant, right?
From what it looks like, yes.
Yeah, it is the same Mike Boynton that was at Oklahoma State. And look, he did an all right job at OSU, to be fair. He recruited Cade Cunningham and got him to Stillwater, Oklahoma. So that's impressive.
Pretty impressive right there.
That's impressive enough. Yeah, I mean, he paid him before it was legal to pay players. That's neither here nor there.
Everyone's doing that.
Yeah,
shout out to Will Wade.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, he was on the staff already.
I think it's a smart move by Michigan because obviously if they didn't, players are going to start heading out.
They're going to name an interim guy. They're going to hire somebody next offseason. Is what they're going to do. So that certainly makes sense.
They'll be fine.
If Burries goes 5, that means someone gets pushed down to the Mavs. Yeah, and if Nate Ament goes before, that means somebody gets pushed down to the Mavs. Look, there's just so many scenarios that we simply just have no idea what's going to happen here between now and tomorrow. But I do think that the hiring of Dusty May is such a big hire for the Mavericks that now we finally have some sort of direction in where we're going, right? We finally have some sort of, okay, the Mavericks hired Dusty May. Now this, and this can happen. You just had to get the head coach in before the draft. And over the weekend, it did not seem like that was going to get done whatsoever. It really, really didn't. But hey, it got done.
It's done.
It got done, and they have a coach. I do want to show this funny picture that we have here from our CEO, Mr. James Yoder, as intern Sam comes into the building. We have boots on the ground in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Had boots on the ground. CEO James Yoder's son is this man right here in a Cooper Flagg jersey, talking to now Mavericks head coach Dusty May. This was on Wednesday. I'm not saying that the younger Yoder got the job done for the Mavericks, but I'm not saying that. It's pretty insane that this was literally 5 days ago. And my sources tell me that Dusty May was asking about Dallas, and he was asking about other things, and the Mavericks had boots on the ground, got the recruiting effort from Mr. Yoder, and got the job done. Tyler Smith, what's up? Yeah, we are getting great news. You got the greatest news yet. Yeah, he was an assistant for them last year. He was what? He did recruit Cade Cunningham to Stillwater, Oklahoma. So look, he's gonna coach there for a year, and then they'll hire a real person. But look, I'm not gonna take credit, but I'm just saying that we had Preston Yoder there down.
If Dusty May has long-term success with the Mavs, Preston Yoder might be a hero in the city of Dallas.
This is a great question from Blake. Don't want to trade Kyrie, but who would you make an exception for? It's a great question. I would make an exception for Kawhi Leonard. Yeah.
Would you do it for a top 4 pick?
Would I do it for Caleb Wilson? Yeah, I would. I'd do it for Caleb Wilson.
Top 5 pick and probably Darius Akoff.
No. I would need one of the top 4 picks to get one of the top 4 prospects.
Okay.
If that's crazy, so be it. What up, Mike Griffith? How we doing, brother?
Hey.
Good to see you in the chat, as always. We got 115 people live in the building right now. Make sure you hit that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. We'll stay live for the next 10, 15 minutes or so talking about the Mavericks news and what can happen here. We do need to tell you guys about our sponsor of today's show, which, of course, is Prize Picks. Go use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You can play Prize Picks in all 50 states, including Texas, California, Georgia, and Florida. Wherever you are in the U.S., you can go play Prize Picks. I love playing the daily fantasy that you know and love, but you can also go play team picks as well, where you can place projections on spreads, winners, and totals on top of those daily fantasy lineups that you do know and you love. And look, I think, personally, the World Cup going on, we have a prime opportunity to make some cash today. Leo Messi, that game's getting started in 45 minutes or so. Gonna take him to score against Austria. Had a hat trick in his first game. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? He's gonna score again. Kylian Mbappe, I'm taking the less on pass attempts. They call him the dictator over there with the French national team. I don't know if you knew that or not. He does. He is Mr. Never Swing the Rock over there for the French.
Michael Porter Jr.
Correct. So we're gonna take the less on him, and then we're gonna take the more on Erling Haaland shots. And that one was originally 3. It's down to 1.5 because Prize Picks offered you a flash discount there. So take the more on that one as well. It's a $10 lineup to win 60. You can go copy those picks over on the social feeds feature. All you literally have to do is just go to the feed, click copy, and you have it in your lineup, and you can place it as your own. Download the app. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to our homies over at Prize Picks. My guy Regless in the chat says, is he a good coach? He is a very good coach. He won the national championship last year with Michigan. He made it to the Final Four with Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic! If anybody, even though I said it earlier, can anybody tell me where Florida Atlantic is? Exactly. They do bring the boom, but they are not a basketball program whatsoever. If he brought that team to a Final Four, I'm just saying, y'all take care.
Didn't they have some really good guy, though, on that team that, like, transferred to, like, a big school the year after?
Yeah, his name's blanking on me, but, dude, I mean,
I can see him.
Well, they had Vlad Golden as well, who was at Michigan, is now in the league.
Yeah.
He's actually on the
I'm
Heat.
thinking.
I'm going back to look at that FAU roster. But, I mean, they had a bunch of really good players on it. It was 22-23, right?
Yes. Was Jackson Robinson, the Kentucky guy?
Oh, it was John L. Davis.
John L.
He
Davis,
was their
the
best
Kentucky
player.
guy. That's who it was.
And then dude, I mean, they had Elijah Martin, who won the national championship with Florida in 2025, who's now with the Golden State Warriors. Absolute dog.
Yeah.
They have, or no. Am I thinking of the right person? Elijah Martin's with the Raptors. Chris Richards, the one with Golden State. But nevertheless, Elijah Martin was at Florida and did win the national championship with them. Look, the team was absolutely stacked. And Dusty May was able to get that squad all the way to the Final Four. And then he left for Michigan, won the national championship. Now he's in the NBA with the Dallas Mavericks. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Jeff_Coop27. You're going to find out about Mavericks news right before you hear about it here on the channel as well. I've got you covered over there. Always tweeting about the Mavericks, other Dallas sports, this and that. So make sure you go give me a follow on Twitter over there as well. If the first 3 people to follow me on Twitter right now, I'll give you a shout out live on the show. Appreciate all of the support you guys are bringing me.
Dude, you know what would be sick? Dusty May's introductory press conference. He just tells a reporter, Google me or Google my resume. I'm a winner.
Google, just Kirk Signetti's it.
Pulls a sig.
Oh, that would
do
be,
it.
Pulls the sig. I love that. No, that would be unreal. My guy Christopher says, I'd keep 9 and 30. Get A-Cuff. A-Cuff will not be available by 9, unfortunately. Burry, Steinbeck, Yaxel, Mara in that order. I would have the first two, or I would go Burries, Mara, Steinbeck, Yaxel would be my order. Vasar, Isaiah Evans, or Sergio De La Rey at 30. Keep Kyrie Thompson, trade Gafford, PJ. Absolutely agree with the last part of that. I would love Henry Vasar or Isaiah Evans at 30. I think either of them would be great. Sergio De La Rey. I don't know if it's De La Rey or Delaria, but either way, I'm obsessed with Spanish point guards. You can guess why. And I think Sergio would be great. I think we have Sergio's stats already loaded up in the into a list 5 stat,
I can pull up.
perhaps. Or we have that big L3, either way. But I like Sergio De La Rey a lot. He played, or maybe it's a bio. Yeah, we have that. Perfect. This is Sergio De La Rey, Delaria, out of Valencia Basket over in Spain. He is 20 years old. He's being touted as a late first-round pick. And in 14 minutes a game last year in the top league in Spain, which, by the way, is the second best professional domestic league in the world. It is better than college basketball. It is a higher level than the G League. It's a higher level than basically anywhere but the NBA. He averaged 7 points a night, 3 assists a night, 2 boards, and shot 41% from 3. De La Rey is a 6'6", 180-pound guard who can handle the rock, he can put it on the floor, and he can really, really shoot it. I like Sergio De La Rey. I'm going to be honest with you. And if the Mavericks end up having that 30th overall pick, I'm taking the man out of Valencia. I think it'd be a fantastic pick for the Mavericks. I'd be all in on Sergio there. The last time the Mavs took a Spanish point guard, worked out pretty well. Until it didn't.
I say it worked out for everybody.
If you guys just want to berate Lopez in the comment section, he is a Lakers fan. So you can just spam F Lopez in the chat, or you can just talk shit to him, because I do it every single day.
You can tell me nothing worse than what Coop has told me.
That is true. I've called Lopez names that you probably can't say on YouTube unless you want to get a flag. But yeah, like I would like De La Rey at 30. I'd like Isaiah Evans. I would like Alex Caravan. There's like plenty of guys at 30 that I think would suit the Mavericks well. But depending on what Dusty May wants with that pick, like if the Mavericks take a big at 30, does that change, or a big at with their first pick, does that change their thinking with their second pick? So I really do wonder how much influence Dusty May is going to have on this Mavericks draft selection here. I also wonder if the Mavericks have officially announced it. I don't believe they have, and I don't know if they will.
I haven't seen anything. An official announcement?
Yeah, I don't think they have either. No, they have not.
I imagine that'll probably come closer with like contract stuff, huh?
Yeah, well, the Mavs won't announce the contract terms, but it might be tomorrow before the draft, and then we'll get eventually we'll get a press conference here. He's probably still in Ann Arbor as we speak at the moment. Dusty May. Oh yes, this is something I forgot to say, and I can't believe I forgot it. Dusty May is the first coach to make the jump from college basketball to the NBA since Michigan head coach John Beilein did it in 2019. Now, John Beilein lasted less than a season as head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. There was some off-the-court stuff.
Way to kill the mood there.
That ended up happening there. Dusty May is going to last more than a season.
Way to kill the mood.
I promise he's going to do that. And so here's an interesting graphic here that I'm reading from Sportico. Previous head coaching experience of NBA coaching hires since 1990. 54% of them were previous NBA head coaches. 36% were NBA interim/assistant coaches. Only 5% of them came straight from college to the NBA without any NBA experience. So it certainly is a jump that doesn't happen very often. You've had some successes, though. The obvious biggest success being Larry Brown, one of the best coaches in the history of basketball, period. Rick Pitino was a good NBA coach. Yeah. John Calipari was a disaster NBA coach.
He knows what he does best, and that is in the college game.
and that is illegally pay players, but now it's all legal. But he does a good job of it.
He develops guards very
No,
well.
oh, he's a fantastic guard developer. Look, he did a hell of a job with Darius Acuff, who's going to end up being a top 6 or 7 pick here in this draft. But yes, Dusty May did coach all 3 of these guys last year. Ade Mara, Yaxel Lendeborg, and Mo Johnson, who are all going to be consensus top, I would say, honestly, 15 picks. Like, I don't think any of these guys get out of the lottery. And the Mavs, sitting right there at 9, are going to have a prime chance to draft any of these 3, really. And if they trade down to 12, they'll still have a chance to take probably Mo Johnson there. So I do think that the chances of them taking a Michigan player have significantly increased over the last 4 hours. Blake says, what happens when May forces Kyrie to run sprints after practice? Here's a fun fact about NBA coaches. They don't make the players run very often. NBA players do not run in practice. They are not running sprints. They are not running suicides. Like, that is not a thing that occurs. In high school and college, yeah, they run. In the NBA, they don't do it because these guys are more professional. They know what they have to do in practice. They're not, if coach is talking, they're not, wandering around, not paying attention. Like, no, these are professional athletes who don't run. Like, the most I've ever seen an NBA team run into practice is you do like a drill, and the losing team literally just runs it there and back. Like, you don't run in practice. You just don't. And if you think Dusty May is going to make Kyrie Irving run, he's not.
Yeah, that's not going to be a hill that Dusty May does.
No, he's not going to be this totalitarian, just authoritative coach. Like, no, he's going to get the best out of his players. And if he makes Kyrie run sprints, it's not going to happen. It won't happen. NBA practices don't work that way. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. No, I get you, Blake. I know for sure. And look, Dusty May will adjust, right? Like, he's going to have to adjust how he treats his players. He's going to have to treat them more like professionals and more like peers, which is certainly an adjustment because as a college head coach, you are looked at as the leader of the program. You're looked at as more of like a father figure type who is trying to help develop character and develop people into men. These guys are already men, right? They're making millions of dollars. They've got their own problems, their own families, this, that, and the other. And Dusty May knows that. So it certainly will be an adjustment from focusing more on the culture building and the character development and that to really just on the basketball court what the Mavericks are going to do. The thing is, with the NBA, most NBA coaches run a lot of the same like concepts and plays than the other guys. Like, there is nothing that you can watch on film that an NBA coach hasn't seen before because they all run a lot of the same stuff. Now, there are different implementations of that systems, right? Like, obviously, no one's running the triangle at this point, but you have, like, Phil Jackson's triangle. You have a more of a 5-out offense. You have whatever bullshit the Mavericks tried to do last year with the Nico Harrison constructed roster that doesn't work. You have, like, there are different iterations, but for the most part, everybody is running the same set plays. So it's not like Dusty May is going to be behind the 8 ball when it comes to that. Will the Mavs draft the Michigan center, says Jim Rockford. That is the... Oh, my tweet with Preston's getting hella emotion.
Oh, God.
That is the question is, will the Mavericks end up taking a Michigan player?
I think if they stay at 8, Mara is going to be the pick, huh?
They stay at 9.
Or 9, my bad.
Is Braden Burries there or not?
I'll say no.
If Braden Burries is not there, then they will take a Damar. And I even said that a couple days ago. It's like, I would be happy with them taking a Damar at 9. That was before I knew Dusty May was going to be the head coach. So I would be all in on that.
Where Coop was right.
That's why you subscribe. That's why you follow me on Twitter. I can be an idiot a lot of the times, but I unfortunately do have the pulse of this Mavericks organization. So
Coop knows Mavs ball.
It impacts my mental health on a day-to-day basis. You go back on the channel and watch my crash outs over the last 16 months. Like, you can see how much this team means to me, how much I'm invested in this squad, and that's why you hit that sub button, man. That is why. This is a guy I haven't talked about, I don't think, one time this offseason, so I do want to bring him up here. Shout out to Barry Williams for this one. Is Max Christie If Max Christie has unknown scoring potential and isn't a game changer defensively, what makes him an asset? That is a fantastic question, Barry, and I don't know the answer because I'm not sure Max Christie is an asset. I'm not sure he is. I'm really not.
Started out hot for the Mavs and then cooled down.
He had his best 15-game stretch of his career. I like Max Christie. Off the bench as a ninth guy, sure. Max Christie last season with the Mavericks, 12.3 points. Oh my God. 2 assists, 3.2 boards, played in 77 games. And I will say, that, I like. Availability, your best ability. I'm cool with that, which is awesome. 44% from the field, shot 40% from 3. He took 6 threes a night. So he's a good shooter. There was a stretch where he, before the All-Star break, he was literally shooting 45% from 3.
He was
could not
automatic.
miss. Could not miss. And then literally what happened, I couldn't remember what game it is, but after a game, he was asked, do you want to be a part of the 3-point contest? And Max Christie was like, yeah, I'd love to be a part of that. That'd be really cool, and I think I deserve it. After that, there was a 2-week stretch where he shot about 21% from 3.
And they left him out.
And he was not in the 3-point contest. So he was super hot. Then he got cold. But look, making $8 million the next 2 years, even if he isn't a great player for the Mavericks, someone will take that contract. It's literally chump
someone
change.
will take a chance on him.
It's chump change. Would I trade 9 and 12? Would I trade 9 for 12 and 25? OKC doesn't have 25, do they? That's the Lakers pick.
Yeah, Lakers is 25.
OKC has 17. So it would be 9 and 12 for 17. Yeah. Yeah. I would do it. I would do it. Depending on how the board falls, though. I'm not going to do that at 1 p.m. tomorrow when I don't know how the board's going to be. I would do that in the draft.
Yeah.
But
if Burries is still on the board.
Yeah,
I'm
going to take Burries at 9, and I'll be honest, if you take Burries at 9, then I would be looking to see what I can trade up with number 30. I would take 30 and take one of those players that we've previously mentioned and see if you can't move up a few spots in the draft. That's probably what I would do there. Got
Ray fan saying trade Gafford.
Yeah, I think Gafford's a likely trade candidate. There are 4 guys on this Mavericks roster who I think are the prime trade candidates this offseason, and Gafford is absolutely one of them. I think Klay Thompson is number 1. He's more or less made it clear that he doesn't want to be in Dallas with the Mavericks, and to be fair, I don't blame him. He signed here to play with Luka Doncic and get all those open looks. Klay still shot 39% from 3 last year. He still had an incredible season, but I just don't think he fits the timeline or the roster at this point. Daniel Gafford coming into the first year of his extension at 3 years and $54 million. Gafford could be absolutely someone on the trade block. PJ Washington could be absolutely someone on the trade block, especially if you take Mo Johnson or Yaxel Lendeborg there. I think Washington would get traded. And Caleb Martin's an absolute fucking stiff. And I would like him to be off my team as soon as possible. I think he has multiple years left on his contract too, which is just incredible.
Jim saying, I heard Lakers could offer Mavs 25 for Gafford.
Oh!
How would you feel about that?
No, I wouldn't trade Gafford to the Lakers out of principle. Out of spite. Yeah. No. You can take one of those rookie centers. I would not trade with the Los Angeles Lakers except for one guy.
Rui. Once we re-sign him, of course.
This is why Lopez gets called names. Look. No, I would not trade Gafford for 25. I seriously wouldn't. The Lakers are going to end up re-signing Jackson Hayes, and then they'll get another center, whether it's Walker Kessler or Jalen Duren.
They're probably going one in the draft, too.
Yeah.
They need to revamp that center
They'll
position.
grab one in the draft. They need at least 2 centers. So, but no, I would not trade them Daniel Gafford out of principle. I would tell Rob Pelinka to go F himself before any of that happened. What was that? Caleb Martin.
Where's Nico when you need him? Am I right?
Don't mention that name on the channel.
Is that one of those banned words?
Yeah, you can't say that. Oh my God, Caleb Martin has a player option for next year.
So he's not opting
$9.3 million.
Yeah, he's going to take every dollar of that.
So we have Caleb Martin for 2 more years. That's what I'm saying. like I would trade all 4 of these guys into 1 for Luka. That's about requisite value.
No, we chilling.
You sure?
Yeah.
That's all right. He'll be back in 2 years anyways.
We're gonna build a contender around him. Him and Austin Reeves
I'm not
are
sure
best
you are.
friends. Him and Austin Reeves are best friends. We're gonna figure it out, guys.
I'm not sure you are.
Once LeBron is off the team, we free up a little bit of money. We get Reeves back.
Luka is going to want to play for Dusty May.
Luka doesn't even know who Dusty May is.
He wants to play for Dusty May. Yeah.
He loves JJ Redick.
They're both Jordan athletes. You're telling me he doesn't know who Dusty May is? He probably has Michigan gear. He probably gifted the Michigan roster his shoes.
No, I think they were wearing the newer retro Jordans.
I think you're wrong.
I feel like I saw them in the 23 or whatever they
I
are.
think Lopez is trying to rage bait.
No, I'm dead ass. I feel like I know Lindenborg wore Jordan 4s a lot. I remember that.
Lopez is lying to you.
And 11.
But anyways, if you missed the news of the day, we'll re-hit that, and then we'll take any super chats, and then maybe probably get on out of here, to be honest. The Mavericks hired Dusty May from the Michigan Wolverines as their next head coach. It didn't come out of nowhere, but it came as a relative surprise, just because the Mavericks just kind of operate in silence when it comes to these kind of things. We knew that they were looking at May, they were looking at John Shire of Duke, but we didn't think anything was going to come of that. There were still rumors about the assistants like Royale Ivy, Jama Mahalela, and Terry Stotts, and who's the other one I'm forgetting? Oh my God, this is going to eat at me now.
Trying to think who you're thinking of.
Mike Inori of Minnesota. It was like, those were rumored as the most like significant names in the head coaching search. And then today at 9:15, Shams tweeted that they'd agreed to hire Dusty May. May has a hell of a resume, man. He really does. Just being the defending national champion for the Michigan Wolverines, made it to the Final Four in 2023 with Florida Atlantic, was on the Florida Gators coaching staff as well. He has an extensive background in college basketball, so certainly making the jump from college to the pros will be a different beast for him because he's going to have to adjust his style of coaching, and the Mavericks are going to have to adjust their style around him. But one thing about Dusty May, man, I think he could just flat out coach. Look, he did have the best roster in college basketball last year with Michigan, did a great job in the portal, getting guys like Yaxel Lendeborg, getting guys who weren't on that Michigan roster to come play for the Wolverines. Elliot Cadeau from North Carolina. He just did an unbelievable job of that. So how does that translate to the NBA? Can that translate into like free agency and potential trades? I don't know. But one thing I do know is May is going to have this team playing fast. He's going to have this team playing aggressive, and he's going to have them, I think, ready to go out of the gates, which will be the most important part of it all. Is getting this team ready to go out of the gates. And that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Can the Mavericks get off to a 10-4 start? Would that be so much to ask for? Even with Luka, with Dirk, with Rick, with Jason, like they never got off to good starts. That's all I want them is to get off to a good start. And it's going to start tomorrow with the NBA draft, where the Mavericks do hold pick number 9. They have 9 and 30 as their 2 picks in the first round. They have 48 in the second round. What are the odds that the Mavericks actually make all 3 of those picks? I would put it at 34.7% that they make all 3 of those picks. I think Masai will make a move tomorrow, whether it's trading down from 9, whether it's trading up from 30. I simply think that is going to be the case. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're going to have you covered with the NBA draft live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time, right an hour before the draft begins, and we'll take you through the entire first round. We'll have you covered with the second round as well if the Mavericks end up making that pick. And we'll have you covered with free agency. A lot of stuff going on in Mavericks land right now with hiring of Dusty May, draft tomorrow and Wednesday, and then you have free agency next Tuesday. It's very, very busy around the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to make some moves as well, so make sure you stay locked in. Also, please go give me a follow on Twitter at Jeff_Coop27. I need to look at my Twitter and see if anybody ended up following me because I said I would give you shout-outs there. Shout out to Paolo Zaccarini for giving me a follow.
Dude, hell of a name.
And Blake, the original GOAT, and Mr. York88. Appreciate all of y'all for hitting that follow button over on Twitter. Dan, before we get out of here, says the Giannis rumors are going to take over soon. Yes, Giannis will be traded by the draft tomorrow for sure. How will that impact the Mavericks? Simply remains to be seen. I don't know if it will at all. It's between the Heat and the Celtics for Giannis at this point, but it sounds like, unfortunately, Giannis is going to be a green team. Quentin says the Mavericks will be a playoff team next year. I agree, Quentin. I have the optimism that they will. Thomas says, welcome to the Mavs, Dusty May. Great hire for the Mavericks. Could not agree more, my friend. Lopez, parting words?
Great hire by Masai Ujiri. Cannot wait to see what Dusty May does for the Mavs. I think it'll be a fun season next year in Dallas.
I think that is my sentiment as well. It's fascinating, and I'm excited for the future of this Mavericks team. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's live show. Appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, as always. And another reminder, make sure you turn on your noties because we are going live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time for the first round of the 2026 NBA Draft. My name is Jeffrey Cooperstein. Go give me a follow on Twitter at Jeff_Coop27, and we'll see you guys soon here on the channel. Dusty May is a Dallas Maverick. Let's go Mavs, baby.